You're writing down all 3 days. And you're working on your blast. Everything tomorrow. All right, so you're writing down both. This is for today. Homework number 25. I have that you can use notebook paper to record, to do all the work on, and then record the final answer in Teacher Mate. Okay. There in the directions for Teacher Mate, it says use the pencil and write. I find that that's very difficult to do, and I don't want your time to be consumed with trying to read your own handwriting or misreading it. So you can use the notebook paper, but keep up with it, because math is not final answer. Math is a process. So if you miss it, you need to be able to see that work to find a mistake. Otherwise, you miss the opportunity to learn. Okay. So if you want to use the mouse and you have something like, I have a stylus at home with a little pad where I can write very easily, and I can do that. If you have something like that and you want to use it, that's fine. Or if you like writing with a mouse, you can do that and not put it on paper, but you need to have it in one place or the other. This is for tomorrow because I'm going to have a substitute. I've asked, and I'm going to have a guest in our classroom. If my students give the substitute any problem whatsoever with behavior, I'm not asking you, I'm putting you on your next step, which will include a lunch detention and an email home. This is your warning. We have a guest. I expect that when I have a guest in my home or my classroom, best behavior is given, better than when I'm here. And if that is not done, there will be consequences. So you decide. You decide now if you're going to make tomorrow a good day or a not good day, because it's not going to turn out well if I get a note from the teacher that you did not behave. You will have a lunch detention. And if your next step is an office referral, it'll be an office referral. So make sure you make good choices. You will have plenty to do tomorrow, that if you're using your time wisely, that will not be a concern because you'll have plenty to work on. The first thing you're going to do is the CFA number 4. They have really been awful. They've not been good. This is you showing me how you're going to perform on the SOL. I got a lot of people that aren't going to pass. That's what I see with the CFAs. This is you showing me what you're retaining. Some of you are not retaining. I'm going to think maybe it's you didn't put in the good effort. Tomorrow, you need to show me your best. Because if you're not passing them, you need some extra help, whether it be practice with Mr. Saunders on Wednesdays, or you need remediation, which could be on a Saturday. I need to help you. You need to show me what you really know or what you don't know. Okay. Then you have a Delta math assignment. That Delta math assignment is going to start with a video. The assignment is on something I have not taught. If you don't watch the video, you will not be able to do the assignment. So have your headphones so you can watch the assignment. She goes through 2 examples to show you how to do it. You have to do 10 questions, okay, in order to get 100%. Every question you miss, you're going to have to do more questions to make it up. So it's important if you miss a question to use the information in the video so that you don't have to do even more. Okay, I'm telling you, if you watch the video, it's a piece of cake. If you don't watch the video, you're not going to do well. Okay, then finally, there's also going to be a worksheet that you're given. That worksheet you're going to bring back with you, and I will check it on Thursday as a homework grade. Questions. So you have all 3 of those things you have to do, plus your blast tomorrow. On your blast, you are not going to work together like we do here, because sometimes it can get out of control, and I don't want the substitute to have to handle that. Okay, so you'll have time to work on it. It's expected that it's done. I will give you a little extra time on Thursday to work with your group to compare your answers, but you don't want to not do it because then you won't have time to go over it. Questions? Now, as you are going over this in your group, you've got 3 minutes. I'm going to come around and give you something you can use, and we're going to talk about when you can use it and how you can use it. So in your groups, talk about your answers for today's blast, Tuesday. Yep. No, I said, look at your blast. Talk about it in your group Monday and Tuesday. Yes. Yesterday it said potential spam. See who it is. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I had sent the confirmation by text. That's okay. Okay, thank you. That's for my doctor's appointment. I'm not going to be here for. So if I didn't answer that, they would have canceled it. So they're hard to get. I've been waiting since before Christmas for this appointment. Ooh. I don't usually have a phone number. Okay, we're going to talk about how to use this, when you can use it, if you need to use it. I will put my name at the top. There is no extra copies that are going to be given out. I know some of you are struggling with multiplication facts. I'm going to hopefully this will help you. We're going to talk about when and how you can use it. I see a lot of people finishing up their blast. Are you good? Not need more time? Okay. If you need that time, I will give it to you. But now, once you finish with the blast, open up last night's homework assignment. Okay, and let me know if you have questions. Now you might have a tool that can help you. So that multiplication chart that I gave you, you can use on classwork. You can use in class. When it comes time for the quiz, you may not use it. Why am I giving it to you then? Hopefully you'll see a pattern and start learning them. You've got to know this for the quiz and the SOL. You will not have a multiplication chart. Now on the SOL, you can make one. You can spend 30 minutes making a multiplication chart and use it. That's fine. You can't bring one with you. You would have to make it as soon as you sat down. So that's an option. You can do that. I've had students do that. Students that I would have bet my house on them not passing the math SOL. She sat for 45 minutes. She made the chart. She used the chart on the SOL. It took her about 6 hours to finish the SOL. She wasn't a very good math student. She got like a 402. So you can do anything you set your mind to. It's up to you. All right, so you've got 3 minutes to look at last night's homework. Let me know if you have any questions. If you have a red box, means something's wrong. At the top, 1 through 9. Only 2 were in simplest form. We did one of them together. Number 2 is simplest form. There was only one other one that was in simplest form. If you have questions, let me know. I think on the whole thing had one reserve. Had 190s, lots of 190s, and only 100. So look and see what you missed. Use that opportunity to learn. That's why we look at what we miss in homework and classwork, so you can learn from it and do better when it comes time for the quiz. If you didn't do it these 2 minutes, you'll never get back. You could work on the assignment right now. I will check for it again. During the week, I checked for it several times. Sunday, last time I checked, and it's a missing assignment. Don't start on tonight's homework. You don't know how to do it yet. I'm going to give you a way to make it a lot easier. Not looking at tonight's homework assignment, looking at last night's homework assignment. I'm going to give you some strategies and skills to make it a lot easier. So you have 3 over 9, right? So you use this chart, start over here. Always start on the biggest and work this way because we want the greatest compact. This is going to have a 3 and a 9 in this column. This one. This one, which 9? Is there a 3? The column has a 3 and a 9. That means this is the number you can divide by. So it's divided by 3. It's right here. Okay, so that 3 is going to change to a 1. But it's 9 divided by 3. The 9 changes to 2. Oh. All right, do not have tonight's homework pulled up. Do not be working on last night's homework while we're going over the notes. Okay, so at this point, no hands on computers. Turn to page 76 in your Math Interactive notebook. I'm going to make what you're doing even easier. I think multiplication of fractions is so much easier than adding and subtracting. You don't have to have common denominators. You just have to know your multiplication tables. And I've given you a multiplication chart to help you with that part. Okay, we're going to talk about how to use the chart. Now, this chart is numerically organized. Everything's in order. This is a really cool thing. What are all these things that I've highlighted for bonus points? Who can tell me what is the diagonal in the multiplication chart? Jacob, do you know? There's special kinds of numbers that we've studied. Oh, say again. Yes, they're all perfect squares. All perfect squares are listed diagonally. 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, 7 times 7, 8 times 8. This question you guys keep missing. The question that says there's perfect squares and there's a blank. And the question says, what number do you need to square to get the number? People are putting 64. Or 81 or 49. No. How do you get 49? What number do you square? 7. How do you get 64? What do you square? 8. That's what they're looking for. Please read the question. That's Ms. Torano's job. Comprehension, right? Reading. Make sure you read the questions. Okay, I'm going to pull this out and look at it as we go through to show you how it can help you with simplifying fractions. what we're going to do a shortcut called cross reducing. It's not butterfly. It's not that. Okay, it's called cross reducing. So open up to page 76. The first two problems we're going to do two ways. Okay, so leave room so you can get two problems in here. The first one, do 3/4 times 4/5. Okay, we're going to do straight multiplication, just like we did. Okay, and then we're going to simplify. So what am I going to do first? What do I do first? Manny? It does? What do you want to do? Okay, what do you get? Okay, so 4 times 5, I get 20 for the bottom. And then is, okay. Now, how can the chart help that I gave you? You are looking to see if these two numbers have any common factors. Okay, I'm looking down the columns. I need a 12 and a 20. Okay, so if I look, here's a 12. Is there a 20? All right, no 12, no 12, no 12, no 12. Oh, here's a 12. Is there a 20? No. Okay, no. Oh, here's a 12. Is there a 20? Yes. Because both of these are in the 4s column, that means they have a common factor of 4. That means I can divide. Oops, do this. Divide both by 4/4. Could I have used a different number? You could divide by 2, but then you'd have to divide by 2 again. This chart is going to help me to find the greatest common factor. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. 20 divided by 4 is 5. All right, let me explain how the chart works. So if I have 12 and I have 20, I know I'm dividing by 4. The answer that I get is on the side. Because if I have 12 divided by 4, it's 3. If I have 20, I divide by 4, it's 5. That's how the chart helps you with simplifying. Questions? All right, so I get 3/5. Now, same thing again, 3/4 times 4/5. That wasn't hard, and we had the chart, but you're not always going to have that, especially when it comes time for the quiz. There is a way to simplify before you multiply. Do you see a numerator that has a common factor with a denominator? It can be numerator, denominator. It can be numerator, denominator. It can be numerator, denominator. It cannot be numerator, numerator. It cannot be denominator, denominator. It has to be top, bottom. It can be here, it can be here, it can be here, it can be here. Anybody see a number on top that has a common factor with a number on the bottom? What do you think, Grayson? What number can I divide into 4? 4. The number itself. If I have 4/4, what does that equal? 1 whole. That's what this is 1 whole. Divide it by itself. What's 4 divided by 4? You put divide by 4, you mark it out, you change it to a 1. As long as you do the same thing over here, divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is, so now I've changed that 4 to a 1. Isn't that easier to multiply by? Can I simplify 3 and 5? 3 and 5 are both prime numbers. Prime numbers have exactly 2 factors, 1 in itself. The only way to get 3 is 1 times 3. The only way to get 5 is 1 times 5. It has 2 factors, 1 and the number itself. That makes it prime. What's composite? It's more than 2 factors, so it's 3 or more. There are 2 numbers that are neither prime or composite. Anybody know what they are? One doesn't have enough, one has too many. Who knows the one that doesn't have enough? Hey, they've always been special numbers with everything we've done. Okay, so which is which? Which one doesn't have enough factors? 1. How many factors does 1 have? To be prime, it has to be exactly 2. 1 doesn't have enough. 1 only has a factor of 1. Why is 0 too many? You take any number times 0 is 0. You cannot list all the factors of 0 because 0 times anything is 0. So 1 doesn't have enough, 1 has too many. All other numbers have a specific list of factors that stops. 0 never stops. Okay, so that mini lesson on prime and composite. Now we multiply. What is 3 times 1? Take your time, you got a chart, okay. And 1 times 5? Done. We simplify before we multiply. Questions? All right, let's look at number 2. We're going to write down 5/8 times. Do it at the top, so we're going to do it twice. 5/8 times 4/5. All right, so for 5/8 times 4/5, 5 times 4, 20. 8 times 5, 40. Can I simplify? What can I divide by, Michael? Okay, can divide by 2. So divide by 2 over 2. So Michael, 20 divided by 2 is, and 40 divided by 2 is, all right, so I have 10 over 20. They both end with a 0. When I have zeros, it's best to use this number because it's bigger than the other two. Hayes, 10. So if I divide by 10 over 10, 10 divided by 10 is 1. 20 divided by 10 is 2. Final answer is 1/2. Not hard. It just takes a while. If you were to leave it as 10 over 20, it's wrong. If you were to leave it as 20 over 40, it's wrong. The only acceptable answer is 1/2 because that's the only one in simplest form. Now, if we use the shortcut, rewrite it underneath 5/8 times 4/5. Do you see a numerator and denominator that share a common factor? Always look, and if you see the same number, that's where you want to start. So where can I simplify? Where can I simplify? Miyomi, do you see a number that's the same on the top and bottom? What is it? Good. So if it's the same number, use that number. Divide both by 5. 5 divided by 5 is, make it a 1. You got to be able to see it. The hardest part about this is keeping your work neat enough that you can read it. If you can't read it, you can't work with it. 5 divided by 5 is, okay. Now, I have a 4 and an 8. I can't change 1. It's as small as it gets. Does 4 and 8 have a common factor that I can simplify them by to make it smaller? Common factor for 4 and 8. Remember, bigger is better, and you have that chart in front of you. Practicing that chart and looking could help. What can I divide by? Hayes. 2. Okay, I can do 2. So divide by 2. Oh, I already wrote 2 now in ink. So we got to start with 2. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. Mark it out, make it a 2. 8 divided by 2 is, okay. You can simplify again. So if I have a 2 and I have a 4 and they're both even, what can I simplify by? I do 2 again. Had I done 4, I would have done it in one step, but that's okay. Sometimes you don't see it. But I can take this 2 and 4 and divide this by 2 and divide this by 2. So I'm glad you made that mistake. It was a good learning opportunity for what you do in that situation. So Hayes, what's 2 divided by 2? 1. Mark it out, make it a 1. 4 divided by 2? 2. Mark it out, make it a 2. Now, pretty easy math. 1 times 1? 1. 2 times 1? Done. Questions? I'm trying to use the different colors so you can see that I'm simplifying with the red. You don't have to do that. If you have a pen and want to do that, that's fine. It's up to you. Questions? Okay, with anything that's new, it takes a while to get used to the process. Okay, you're not going to say, oh, I'm not going to do that, because if it's not simplified, it's counted completely wrong. This is going to help you to have it in simplest form. All right, number 3 is 7/9 times 6. We're not going to do it 2 ways. We're just using the shortcut. Okay, we're going to cross reduce. What's my very first step? What am I going to do first? Kamaya.
Add a 1.
Not add a 1. You're on the right idea though.
Add a
Change the whole number to a what?
to a fraction.
By doing what?
Adding a 1 under the 6.
Giving the whole number a denominator of 1. Yes. So make the whole number 6, denominator of 1 underneath. So if you have a whole number, put 1 as the denominator. Now you have the fraction. All right. Can I simplify before I multiply? 7's prime. Is 7 going to simplify with 9? 1's already the smallest. So let's look this way. I have a 6 and 9. Can I simplify that? Look at your chart. Do you see a column that has a 6 and a 9 in it? That can help you to simplify. The more you do that, hopefully, the more it'll start sticking if you're doing it right. Angel, what can I divide by? Okay, it's in the 3 column. So both of these I can divide by 3. Angel, what's 6 divided by 3? Okay, you can use your chart to do that. You know how to use the chart? Okay, so it's a 2. And then 9 divided by 3 is? Use your chart. Stop. I heard it. So look over after the 9. Look next to the 9. What did you get? You want me to show you? Okay, so with this, he said, okay, here's the 6, here's the 9. If you're dividing by 3, the number it changes to is on the side. So 6 divided by 3 is going to be 2. 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3. So this is the number you're dividing by. This is what it's changing to that's next to it. Because 3 times 2 is 6 and 3 times 3 is 9. Does that make sense? Yes, it's going to be a 3. So mark it out, make it a 3. You see why? Okay, now, can I make 3 any smaller? Does 3 simplify with 2 or 7? Now we're done. We're ready to multiply. Before, we would have had 7 times 6 and 42 and 9 on the bottom. Because the majority of the people in here don't know their multiplication tables, they would have not gotten any further than that. Most people in here can't tell me that 7 times 6 is 42. That's a problem. So that's why I've given you the chart and I'm giving you a way to make it easier. So what is 7 times 2? 7 times 2, 14. 3 times 1. Okay, when I have in fraction, top number is bigger than the bottom number, Jacob, what's that called? What kind of fraction? It's something we did yesterday. And it's okay if you don't know. Not sure? What is it called when the number on top is bigger than the number on the bottom, Zach? Improper. Okay, to make it proper, we use division. Top in, bottom out. So the 3 is on the outside, 14 is on the inside. This is where your chart can be helpful. We're dividing by 3. I say this is like the Price is Right. Last class, only one person knew what I was talking about. Raise your hand if you know what the Price is Right is, the game show on TV. Okay, one person in my last class. I got a few people in here. The way the Price is Right works is you're trying to get the price of the item. So in order to play the game on stage, they'll bring an item out and everybody bids. I think it's $7.50. I think it's $8.50. I think it's $1,000. I think they all went over. I'm going to try $1. If I think everybody overbid, if I pick $1, I'm going to win. Why am I going to win? Because you can't go over. If you go over by $1, you're out. You can be under, but if you think everybody goes over, you bid $1. Just don't be the first person to do that, because guess what the next person would bid? And they've done that. So you got to be smart if you play that game. Anyway, you want to get close, but not go over. Get close, but not go over. So I'm dividing 3 into 14. Under 3, do I have a 14? Under the 3, is there a 14? Okay, how close can I get without going over? Okay, I can't do 15 because it's over, but I can do 12. So how many times does 3 go into the 12? So over here, I'm going to put a 4. 3 goes into 14, 4 whole times. 4 times 3 is 12. And I subtract and get 2. What am I going to do with that to get my answer? The answer is going to be 4 whole and what fraction, Lily? 4 and did you say it? 4, 2/3. 2, remainder goes on top. Denominator is still a 3. Answer's 4 and 2/3. It's in simplest form because I did the shortcut correctly. Next one. 8/9 times 3/5. Do you see a numerator and denominator that have a common factor that I can simplify before I multiply? Summer, do you see a number on top and a bottom that has a common factor? Better pick up your chart. Look at your chart and see if you have 2 of those numbers in the same column. Give you a hint, look for a 9. And see if there's another number on top that goes with that 9 in a column. You see any 9s? So here's a 9, but do I have any other number that's in there? No, you see any other 9s? Tell me where you see another 9. You don't see any other 9s in the chart besides here. I'll give you a hint, it's highlighted. Under the 3. Okay, under the 3, here's a 9. Do you see any of the numbers that are on top with that in that column? What is it? The 3. So both of these numbers I can divide by what, Summer? 3. I can divide by 3, divide by 3. Summer, what's 3 divided by 3? The chart gives you the answer. If I have 3 and divide by 3, what do I get? Sweetheart, it's right here. 1. See, 3 divided by 3 is a 1. So that's going to be a 1. And then here's the 9. Here's the 3. How many times does 3 go into 9? It's a 3. So I have 8 and 1 on top. I have a 3 and a 5 on the bottom. Do any numbers on top have a common factor with any numbers on the bottom? 1, I can't make smaller. 8. That's 1, 8, 2, and 4. Does that match any of these? Okay, I multiply. So what's 8 times 1? What's 3 times 5? Simplest form. Otherwise, you would have had 24 over 45. The first step would have been to figure out the multiplication of that. Half the class wouldn't have been able to do that, unfortunately. And then to simplify it, it'd have been ugly. Shortcut makes it so much easier. Questions? All right, number 5, 33 over 40 times 10/11. Anybody learn their times tables up to 33 or 40? Oh, surprising. All right, how am I going to do it? Matthew, did you want to just go ahead and give us the answer? 33 times 10 and 40 times 11? Is what? Well, you know, I have a faster way to do it instead of multiplying. I can use my shortcut. Anybody see a place where I can use the shortcut to simplify for a multiply? Smaller numbers are better. Where can I do it, Hayes? What number goes into both? Okay, look at your chart. Do you see 11 and 33 in the same column? What number's at the top? 11. So divide by 11, divide by 11. Hayes, 11 divided by 11 is 1. 33 divided by 11 is 3. All right, I've got 10 and 40. What number can I divide into both? Again, look at your chart. What column has 10 and 40 in it? It's going to be what, Manny? So I'm going to divide both by 10. Plus, they both end with a 0. We talked about that. So 10 divided by 10 is 1. 40 divided by 10 is, okay, hardest thing is being able to read your own handwriting. This is going to be a piece of cake. What's 3 times 1? What's 4 times 1? That's so much easier than simplifying at the end. 3/4. Questions? Circle, symbol is formed. All right, number 6. 2/5 times 5/8. Okay, can I simplify before I multiply? Lily, where can I simplify first? What 2 numbers? Give you a hint. Anytime you see the same number on top and the same number on the bottom, use that number to simplify. Do you see a number on top and bottom that are the same? 5. That means we're going to divide both of them by themselves. You just use that same number. Lily, what's 5 divided by 5? 1. What's 5 divided by 5? Okay. Now, any other place that I can simplify before I multiply? Pierce? Okay. What 2? Okay. What number can I divide by? Will not go into 2. So find the 2 and the 8 in the same column. What can I divide by? Okay, because that's at the top. If you look at 8, you don't have a 2 under it, so you can't use the 8, but you can divide both by 2. Good. All right, so Pierce, what's 2 divided by 2?
1.
You can use your chart if you need to. 8 divided by 2 is?
4.
Now it makes it very easy to multiply. 1 times 1. 1 times 4.
4.
Done. All right, I'm going to give you 2 to do on your own. You have a minute and a half to finish. You got 40 times 5/8. And you have 9/10 times 5/6. If you need help, you don't know how the chart is helping you or how to use it to help you, let me know so I can help you with the chart. Okay, I think the more you can do it correctly, the easier it's going to be. You got those 2. 2 minutes. Nope, cannot be neighbors. Has to be this. But it's okay. Top, bottom here, top, bottom here, top and bottom here, top and bottom here. Either way, one on top, one on the bottom. Cannot be side by side. Cannot be top, top, or bottom, bottom. Just like you did. Come on. Okay. Now what? We're on number top. Number 1, share time factor. I don't think you're going to find 5 and 8 in the same column. So look the other way. See if those other 2 numbers are in the same column. All right, number 7, what do I have to do first? First step is going to be what? Peyton, what's my first step? Thanks for telling me. I'm ready. Let's do it together. What do I have to do first? very concerned. That's unfortunate because we've done this several times. So why don't you turn back a page and look at multiplying fractions and tell me the first step we're supposed to do? How do we multiply fractions? Page 75. What's it say?
Writing one after the denominator for any whole number.
Do we have a whole number?
Yeah,
So what are we gonna do?
write a one.
Where?
And then
Under what?
the 40.
You understand?
Yeah. This or
You need a pencil. So we're gonna put a 40 over 1. Hey, anytime you have a whole number, you gotta have fraction, numerator, numerator, denominator, denominator. Now, I could do 40 times 5, but there's a way to simplify before I multiply. Where is it? What am I going to do? Harley, where can I simplify before I multiply? 40 and 8. What number, largest number, can I divide into both? Yes, ma'am. Say again. Yes. Divide both by 8. All right. So 40 divided by 8 is, mark it out, make it a 5. 8 divided by 8 is, mark it out, make it a 1. Now, I have ones on the bottom. I can't simplify anything else. I'm ready to multiply. Harley, what's 5 times 5? 1 times 1. Now, just as Peyton told us earlier, if we have a whole number, we put a 1 underneath to make it a fraction. If I have a 1 on the bottom, I don't need to do long division for this. 25 over 1 is going to be what, Harley? 25. It's a whole number. If you have a 1 for the denominator, it's what's ever on top. All right, number 8, Michael, how can I simplify before I multiply? Which two are we looking at first? Okay, 9 and 6. I can divide both by what? So divide by 3, divide by 3. Gentlemen, stop talking, please. All right, so 9 divided by 3 is, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Anywhere else I can simplify before I multiply? Jacob, do you see another place where I can simplify before I multiply? And what number goes into both? Good. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 is, mark it out, make it a 1. 10 divided by 5 is, mark it out, make it a 2. All right, let's see what we have left. A 3 and a 1 on top, a 2 and a 2 on the bottom. They're all prime numbers except for the one that doesn't change. I can't simplify anything else, so I multiply. Jacob, 3 times 1? 2 times 2? That's your final answer. Tonight on the homework, I would use notebook paper. I'm going to give you a sheet. Make sure you number them because you want to keep it not to show me, but to have your work if you miss a problem. Looking at a wrong answer is not helpful. You need to see the work on how you got that answer. Okay, you can use the chart to help you, but you will not be allowed to use the chart on the quiz. Hopefully, the more you see it, the more you'll remember and understand the process. Final answer is the only thing you have to make. That final answer has to be in the form, or we'll count it wrong. Questions? All right, get your things together. I hope we have better completion on this than last night's homework.
I do wait for Jenna. And usually Jenna waiting for me because I'm the slow one.
Summer, do you understand how to use the chart there? Okay, that should help you to maybe understand it a little bit better. The more you use it, hopefully it'll start sticking. You're gonna see the same numbers over and over. Everybody, how do you not hear your computer open? Close your computer in the hallway. Bella, close your computer when you come out. No open computers in the hallway. Close it completely. Kaden, keep going. Kaden, keep going. Go all the way down. Close your computers.
These are the ones, hi, from Miss Warrington, they can literally stick right on them. And these were just extra ones.
Okay, I made copies of
With-
them. I'm gonna
okay.
put them in
Yeah, and then on the back, if they.
I'm telling you, this has been a painful lesson.
Yeah.
I am not gonna be here tomorrow.
Okay,
Everything's gonna be online
okay.
as far as what they need to do, but you decide if you feel it's better to work with them individually, if you don't, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
You can absolutely do it. So I've already put what the homework is. It's a Delta math assignment.
Okay.
It's a CFA. I'm gonna get that out of the way for this week.
Okay.
Because we're rushing on Friday.
Yeah.
And then a worksheet, so it's on paper for homework. It's a puzzle. Maya, get in line, please. So they're really working independently the whole time tomorrow.
Okay.
So they'll have plenty to do and then have to finish it for homework.
Okay.
The Delta math is on modeling multiplication of fractions.
Okay.
And it shows them how to do it in the video with 2 examples. So they have to watch the video.
Okay.
And they need to have headphones. If not, they can borrow from me. I'll have some up for the substitute, but I'm gonna tell her to take a planner.
Yeah.
To make sure she
Okay.
gets that.
And I have my phones too.
Okay. I have plenty. I just
Okay.
don't want them walking away.
Yeah.
Start on your left. Right foot down, start on your left. Take your foot down.
Oh wait, I forgot to take my.
Got that, that. Me? What? Feel that?
No. Right on your napkin, okay? Right on your napkin. Okay. Have it, and you don't have to worry about who's taking the paper.
Well.
Thank you. Okay, write your homework down. You're writing it down for today and tomorrow. Okay, Okay, today and tomorrow. Today's homework is homework number 25. Let me stop. It's homework number 25. I'm going to suggest that you do that work on notebook paper and you record your final answer in simplest form into Teacher Mate. Okay, you don't have to use the mouse to show your work in Teacher Mate, but keep your piece of notebook paper so that you have this to look back at for mistakes. It's not for me. I don't need to see your work. I just need you to have your work, because if you miss something, it's an opportunity to learn. But if you don't put your work down, you don't know where you made the mistake. The second thing you're writing is for Wednesday. Those are the things that you're going to be completing in class and I have time to complete. It's the CFA number 4. It's a Delta math assignment that you have to have headphones for. So I'm telling you that you need that because you're going to need to listen to the video. And there's a worksheet puzzle. That worksheet puzzle, when you work your answer, you work the problem, you have an answer, you're going to see the answer at the bottom. If you don't see your answer at the bottom, it means you've done something wrong. You need to go back and find your mistake. Okay, so it's a self-check homework. Those 3 things plus your blast, you're going to work on all of that tomorrow, and it's pretty much independent. I am not going to be here tomorrow, so we're going to have a substitute that's coming to the classroom. Let me explain so there's no questions. I consider it a guest coming to my classroom, just like if I have a guest coming to my home. I expect my son at home to be on his best behavior, and I expect my students to be on their best behavior. So this is your warning. I don't want you to be surprised. If you do not behave and your name is left for any reason, I am not going to ask you your side of the story. I'm going to give you a consequence, and it's a step. It depends on where you are. It could be an office referral. It could be a lunch detention, but there will be an email that goes home because I'm expecting best behavior. Put your hand down. I am not answering any questions. I am telling you what I expect. You know what that is. So that's for tomorrow. So you're putting your homework down so you know what you're working on. Again, I am not going to ask questions. I'm going to issue consequences. There should not be a problem. Every single person in this room knows what's expected and knows how to behave. It's up to them whether they execute that or not. You have choices every day when you come to my room. Your choices have consequences. Positive, if they're good choices. Negative, if they're not. Completely up to you. Now, you're working on your blast. You have 2 minutes to work. I graded last week's blast, working on them last night. They're awful. They're 20s, they're 30s. You all need to put more time into those blasts. You're grading them. You need to look at keywords. You need to look at what you know. You need to use your resource. You may use desk notes on your blast. I would open it up and work on that blast. I am not giving you the answer, so work on it now. You may. Jackson, come get one, dear. You are working on your own at this point. You may pull up desk notes to use that tool. Hey, remember what we did to solve an equation? Let's review. You have time to, in your group, talk about the problems and how you're solving them. Blanks are wrong. If you don't know and you can't understand and you need help, raise your hand. I will come to you and help you to think along the right line. I'm not giving you the answer, but I'll help you to figure out the answer. Okay, you've got 3 minutes to discuss. That's a minute a question, discussing in your group. Welcome. Don't forget what we know about equations and inverse balance solve and confirm. Keith, focus on here. I like to keep the window open, but I can close the shade if it's distracting. 1 minute, guys. I like the discussion I'm hearing, guys. Good job. I like to hear people talking about the problems, why it's right, why it's wrong. That gives you bonus points. Oh, I know. Okay, tomorrow you're gonna work on your blast, but you're not gonna work together. I will give you extra time on Thursday to check Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, so you'll have time to work on it tomorrow as one of the things in your list in Google Classroom. Yes, ma'am. No, you're why are you keeping that? So when I send it back to you, you got red boxes. What are you gonna look at to figure out where you went wrong? You want to see how you got that answer. Okay, so when you do your homework tonight, number it, have the word, and then you're gonna put your final answer in the teacher made document. And so when you get it back, if they're all green, you got 100, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. All right, so I need you to put your blast in the front pocket of your math interaction notebook so you can find it tomorrow. I need you to open up your teacher made. Okay?